Hello students, welcome to English grammar lesson. Today's topic is finite and non-finite verbs. Before proceeding toward the finite verbs and non-finite verbs, let's see what are main verbs and auxiliary verbs. Here is the classification of verbs. One is main verb and second is auxiliary verbs. Here auxiliary verbs are also of two types, primary and modals. Primary are of three types according to the tense. To be, if there is to be auxiliary verb, there we use am, is, are, was, were. For to do, we use does, do, did. For to have, we use has, have, had according to the tense. Modals are shall, will, should, would, may, might, can, could, must, ought to, need, dare, used to. About all these modal auxiliaries, we have already studied in the previous chapter. Now let's come to our topic, that is finite verb and non-finite verbs. Non-finite verbs are again classified into three types, that is participle, gerunds and infinitives. First, let's discuss about a finite verb. A finite verb functions as the main verb in a sentence. It shows tense and agreement with the subject. In this picture, you can see that finite verbs depend on person, number, subject and tense. In finite verb, subject depends on verb. In finite verbs can change with the tense. These tense are according to the past tense, present tense or future tense. As we have already discussed that the finite verbs depend on tense, person and number. Here we can see that according to the tense, it is depend on past, present and future. It depends on, or it can changes according to the person also, and it can changes according to the number. In person, we all know that there are first person, second person and third person. According to that, the finite verb can change. According to the number, singular or plural number, it can change. Let's understand it with some of the example. As we discussed that verb change as per tense. It can be in present tense, past tense or in future tense. First example is, I play cricket every day. This sentence is in present form, so we use play verb according to the present tense. Second sentence is, I played cricket every day. This sentence is in past tense, so we use this finite verb played here in the past form. Now second is verb change as per person. First person, in which we include I and we. Second person, you. Third person, he, she, it, they. Let's try to understand it with these examples. I run a mile daily. Here I is a first person, so we use verb run here in according to the person. He runs a mile daily. With the third person, we use runs. So verb change as per person. These are the examples which shows that verb change as per number. Number one is, apple is of red color. Apple is singular, so here we are using is according to the number. Apples are of red color. Here apples are in plural form, so we are using are according to the number of the subject. Now look at this picture carefully. Here you can see the difference between finite verbs and non-finite verbs. We have learned about that finite verbs are depend on person, number, subject and tense. Whether non-finite verbs do not depend on person, number, subject and tense. It is just contrast to finite verbs. A non-finite verb does not show tense. For example, she asked us to study. As you can see in this sentence, there are two verbs. One is asked and second is to study. So first verb is finite verb because it is according to the tense, it is according to the number. But the second one, to study, is not according to this tense, because if first one is according to the past tense, then other should also be the past tense. But here it is showing that only finite verb is according to the tense, but non-finite verb will not be according to the tense. A non-finite verb cannot stand alone as the main verb in a sentence. In this sentence, in this example, you can see my brother cleaning his car. Here, cleaning is verb, but not the main verb. It is the non-finite verb. This sentence is incomplete here. Here you can see that non-finite verb does not follow subject-verb agreement. They do not depend on tense, person and numbers. For example, I found his office at a walking distance. In this sentence, we have two verbs. One is finite verb and the second is non-finite verb. The first verb, that found, it is finite verb because in this sentence it is according to the tense. But the second verb is not according to the tense, so it is non-finite verb. Second sentence, Akash will find his office at a walking distance. In this sentence also we have two verbs. One is will find and second is walking. Will find is the finite verb because it is according to the tense, according to the future tense. But the other one is not according to the tense, so it is non-finite verb. So as I told you before that non-finite verbs is again classified into three types, that is participle, gerunds and infinitives. So in short I will explain you that what are participle, gerunds and infinitives. About these topics we will study in the next chapter in detail. So participle is a verbal adjective. It is formed by ing, ed or en to the base form of the verb. Gerund is a verbal noun. It functions like a noun. Jogging is good for health. I love swimming. So here when the word is act as a noun, it called gerund. Infinitive. An infinitive is generally preceded by to and it expresses an action. Means with that verb we add to infinitive. He loves to prepare tea. To prepare is infinitive here. So about these topics we will discuss in detail in the next chapter. That's all about this chapter. If you have any query related to this chapter, feel free to ask. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.